some things with her, but I think it's interesting. So when talking about what about these kids? Seems like I've seen some kids trailing around behind you. Okay, when we I didn't. Do you have any children? Is it
Oh,
such the truth? Or?
we've got a small army.
Okay, all right,
So Joe and I have a blended family.
right.
When we got married, he had two, I had two, and then together we had our little son Sam. And then in looking for the right way to tell Joe's oldest daughter, or his daughter, that she was going to be a big sister again.
Right.
In the meantime, she comes and says, "Hey, you're going to be grandparents," and we were like,
yeah.
"Oh, what about that?"
It's pretty cool.
So we have a granddaughter who's 2.5 weeks younger than our son.
That's pretty cool.
Now that is a big time.
That sounds like it.
You get those two together, and it's
I can imagine.
Try to get them together as much as we can, though, because
Right.
they need each other.
Right. That's good.
And the other siblings are, my youngest daughter is 10 years older than Sam, so they're
range.
excellent babysitters.
Right.
But you know, if Sam didn't have his niece, he really wouldn't have anybody he could relate to and fight with. And
that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll happen.
And then I've had a friend of my daughter's come in, and I've taken her under my wing, and
good.
So yeah, we don't have any shortage.
Well, that's children. Good. It's good to have a heart for that. I mean, you know, it really is, and it takes a lot to do those things. I mean, and I mean, now we can talk about it all we want, but so much responsibility falls back on the woman to have that heart and do those things. I mean, Joe is pretty cool, but I mean, I'm sure it falls back on you to have that kind of heart. I mean, that compassionate, tender heart.
Well, sometimes you just have to put your foot down and say, right, "This is what we're doing." Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Janice does that to me.
And she works. She's not the same age as the girls. Right. She's just a friend of theirs. Good. And so she works and she helps us. And I've found her a couple other little jobs, and she's got some things she's interested in. Good. And so she's got herself into some classes, and
that's real good.
So I'm just tickled with her.
Well, it's good to have. You know, when I was a boy, it seemed like we raised a lot of cousins. We used to have a lot of cousins that lived with us and stuff like that. And and you're seeing a lot of grandparents nowadays raising grandchildren.
Right.
That's a job.
Right.
And that really can. I mean, I wouldn't even want to think about how hard that could be.
No, it's. I hope that we're never put in that position.
Right.
But you know, you don't ever know what's going to happen.
Can't tell what might happen.
Right.
You really can't. Okay.
The worst. Somebody told me one time. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
Somebody told me once, "Don't ever say my kid won't do that," because there you are, and your kid is never before.
I'll tell you this because I don't have to give names, but I had a friend of mine who let's just call him a friend of mine. I only tell about his vocation. But anyway, he was telling me, but he had a real pretty daughter, blonde hair, really pretty old girl. He said, "I'll tell you what, my daughter, if a man comes to my house, a boy comes, he was a blah, 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 blah." He said, I listened to him talk a while. I thought, man, because, you know, I've got daughters. And I'm thinking, so I told him, I said, you know, I really think it's cool what you're saying. I think those are really strong words, and I admire your leadership and your tone. I've said, but that little daughter you're talking about that you think so sweet, she'll climb out her bedroom window at midnight and go through the snow to meet a boy on the corner. Now, she loves you, but there's something inside of them. I said so you got to be real careful what you say.
Right.
I said, because by the grace and mercy of the good Lord, do things work in the end. And because I tried to explain to him, I said, there's a chemical that God puts in women. So we as men can trick them, okay? Because see, why would we ever get a woman if we didn't trick you and tell you up is down and down is up, and and I'm really great. You know what I mean? And it comes back from the Bible. In the Bible, I noticed that when you read about it, Eve was deceived, Adam was rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing inside of y'all that we can trick you, and it comes in girls. There's a point there that it is. It's just the facts of life. It's okay if you raise them and they love you, they'll come back and things will work. And you, as you said, they'll make you